So, as of recently, I have been making content specifically relating to how I think Batman would interact with characters from the Marvel Universe. And today, I thought I would keep up with that specific theme and specifically discuss why I absolutely think Batman, Hulk, and Bruce Banner, both of them respectively together combined, would absolutely hate each other. So, obviously, just think about it. Imagine the most unstoppable force of pure rage just put up against this most unshakable whale of pure intellect and control. These two are some of the most iconic heroes in honestly both their respective universes. Batman being the Dark Knight of Gotham, a man of disciplined tactics and unrelenting control, while the Hulk, on the other hand, being the embodiment of raw, uncontrollable power. But the kicker is, they most likely wouldn't be allies in the most normal sense. Instead, they would probably absolutely just hate on each other, and there would be a very good amount of reasons for this. Bruce Wayne is a man defined by control, as I've already said, and Bruce Banner is a man tortured with uncontrollable rage. He has these just very two distinctly discerning facts that just really would separate their characters way too singularly much. And I know I repeated myself, but it's something that needs to be repeated. Obviously, the first part that needs to be specifically talked about between these two characters would be their contrasting personalities. At their core, Batman and Hulk couldn't be more different. Batman is all about control, being calm, calculated, and disciplined. He uses his mind as his greatest weapon, planning every single scenario, relying on strategy to win. Hulk, well, Hulk is quite literally the opposite. His He is the ultimate embodiment of chaos, driven by absolute unfiltered emotion, relying on the pure instinct rather than thought. Bruce Wayne and Bruce Banner may both be brilliant, but they possess their own trauma in they process their own trauma in very different ways. Batman channels it specifically into his order that he has built up so well, while Banner's trauma literally turns him into a rage-induced monster that just kind of separates them so specifically much. And with these two contracting personalities, it would just be something that just wouldn't really mesh well together. I really had to specifically talk about both Hulk and Bruce Banner, specifically because neither one of them would like Bruce. Neither one of them would like Batman. They're just too different on too many different active levels that it just wouldn't make any sense for them to actually be anywhere in the same vicinity having decent fun. And with the next thing that I would probably need to talk about, Batman's control, again, with Hulk's uncontrollable rage. As I've already said, Batman thrives on control. He trains every day to master his body, his mind, and his surroundings. Nothing infuriates him more than unpredictability. And Hulk is the most unpredictable person that you could absolutely have. No matter how much Bruce Banner might try to contain his anger, once the Hulk is unleashed, there is no telling what he'll do or who might get hurt. Batman would see the Hulk as a huge, massive liability, a walking time bomb that could go off at almost any given moment, endangering innocent lives. For the Dark Knight, that level of chaos would just be absolutely insufferable and intolerable, along with the fact that Batman's strength lies in his tactics, preparing every encounter, using stealth and intellect to maneuver and outthink his enemies. While Hulk just, smashes. No tactics, no strategy, just overwhelming strength. Batman would view Hulk's brute force as reckless and counterproductive. Imagine Bruce trying to take down a foe with precision, only for Hulk to just come smashing in and flattening everything in sight. This reckless behavior would drive Batman to the absolute brink of insanity, just due to the fact that there's just damage that doesn't need to be happening. And yes, heroes and villains cause damage respectively in any universe. That's just a common thing about having to deal with any kind of hero or superpowered individual, but Bruce is usually actively knows exactly what and how much damage should be normally costing. Hulk is just going to smash every singular thing no matter what goes around. And really, if we're just talking about how Batman's personality specifically is, he has a very big dislike for dangerous loose cannons. If you look at Batman's allies, like Nightwing or Batgirl or anybody else, they all follow his lead because they respect his need for precision. But when it comes to somebody as unpredictable as the Hulk, there is no following orders. To Batman, the Hulk would just be an uncontrollable force of nature, an unrestrained power that would make him kind of a very hard person for Batman to work with. And Batman doesn't really tolerate loose cannons. We see how much he really doesn't like Jason when Jason goes all loose, and how much he doesn't like specific people that he really can't control. And Hulk is the literal definition of uncontrollable. And if we're really talking about Hulk and being uncontrollable, the main thing that Hulk would absolutely hate about Bruce is his need to be this like leading authority. Hulk is no fan of having to deal with like authority. And Batman's is the true ultimate authority figure. From government soldiers to military control, Hulk has always been hounded by his entire existence about people trying to manipulate or command him, and Batman, with his controlling nature and calculated plans, would only remind Hulk of the people that tried to cage him. Hulk would resent Batman's attempt to impose order upon him, leading to a very deep-rooted tension, most likely between the two. And obviously, being Hulk doesn't like to take orders, he would most specifically hate having to deal with it by somebody like Batman. And obviously, we do all have the obvious, the strict moral code versus Hulk's collateral damage that I was talking about a little earlier, specifically due to the fact of Batman operates with a very strict moral code. And yes, he sometimes has to go around people that like don't have the same exact moral code. This would be a very big kind of glaring difference. The fact of his moral code is usually just protect everybody. He like no killing, just protect the innocents. He avoids unnecessary casualties. He makes sure that he carefully navigates the battlefield to minimize harm. While Hulk's rampages would just lead to blind destruction, even if unintentional. And while Hulk does try to avoid killing innocent people, the collateral damage that he causes is absolutely inevitable. The rampage and chaos that he leaves in his wake, Batman would never be able to tolerate this level of risk to innocence, especially the fact of one of the main reasons this would literally be one of the main reasons that Bat sees Hulk as a very dangerous liability. Now, the main thing that I honestly see driving a very big wedge between them would be Batman's absolute need to kind of quote unquote fix the Hulk. And this would lead to a resentment between both of them, like both Hulk and Bruce Banner. And most specifically, it would be the fact of Batman being the detective he is and the problem solver that he wants to be, would no doubt see Banner's situation as something that he could fix. Whether it's using his resources to try finding a cure for the Hulk or trying to control Banner's transformations. Batman would inevitably start digging into Banner's personal life, but the problem here is Banner has spent years coming to terms with his condition. And the last thing that he needs is somebody telling him, oh, I could fix you. We have seen in comics how often and how many times and how bad situations like either one of them just trying to get rid of the other ever actively works. Every time Hulk goes out with goes and has no Bruce Banner, it ends up chaotic. Anytime Banner goes out and doesn't have the Hulk anymore and isn't able to use the Hulk anymore, it goes chaotic for him. It never really works. And Banner has spent his entire basically adult life for however long he has had the Hulk, coming to terms with the fact that he's most likely going to be stuck with this rage monster for the entirety of his life. And they have both come to terms with that. They've both come to a complete agreement that this is basically how their entire life was going to be working. And like, let's face it, another thing that would really have a very big irritation and tension causing thing between them two would be Banner's hatred for just Batman's arrogance. Because let's face it, Batman has a very big reputation of being extremely overconfident and arrogant. He is used to being the smartest guy in the room and often doesn't trust anybody else's judgment. To Banner, the arrogance that Bats would be showing around would be deeply frustrating. Batman's condescending attitude and insistence on his ways being the only right way to do anything would really just irritate Banner. Banner has lived his entire life with the Hulk for years, and Batman's solutions to all of these different things would feel like an insult to everything that Banner has been just quite literally enduring. We see how Banner and Stark usually sometimes don't get along, and it's always because of the fact of just the unresulting just confidence between them two and how a lot of these things would just kind of end up playing out. So really, in the end, Batman and Hulk would really mainly hate each other because of their so fundamentally opposite in almost every way. Hulk's raw, chaotic power is everything Batman fights against, and Batman's need to control everything is something that the Hulk would just absolutely despise. And obviously talking about another person born in this specific trio would be Banner's resentments of Batman's just arrogance and attempts to fix him or just do almost anything specifically around with that. These characters would just never actively be able to see eye to eye on almost any occasions, and there would most likely be a lot of different altercations between them two. So please let me know what you guys would think. Let me know if you guys think that they would actually have some kind of relatively nice relationship or like each other in any specific format. If you guys think I'm wrong, put it down in the comment section below. And if you guys think I could have done anything better, also put that down in the comment section below. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys can get more little kind of superhero showdowns, or more specifically just universe crossovers on what characters I think would either hate each other or just drive each other crazy in almost any specific terms of the mean. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.